Welcome back to episode 8 of Pokemon Sword. I am joined by my friend David. Say hello to the people.
One of my 4 here.
Alright. And I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be the phase where I start experimenting with the outfit a bit more. I'm gonna be honest, I think that the first outfit I make, and then the outfit for the Crown Tundra are my favorite outfits. But there's just something about the base outfit that I like a lot. So in later parts, you're going to be able to see that. As is very obvious, I'm taking advantage of the DLC because let's just say that the bike upgrades and the bike costume changes are really cool. I don't think...
It's true. And
yeah?
the column is just the best, which I really hope they fix this in Gen 10.
If they
and not go to whatever the heck Gen 9 was.
If they allow for free camera, I don't think they will.
Why?
Well, I mean, as I pointed out, like, let's say, like, the male outfits pretty much should stay untouched, but, like, the female outfits, like, for example, I don't think they'll allow dresses or skirts if we're allowed to use the camera in a free motion. If you remember when we recorded Pokemon Violet...
Can't they just limited... Can they just limit it so that they can't... While it can move, it can't move all the way down?
I mean, they could do that. That would work, kind of like how they do with the wild area. But given that, just saying hypothetically, because if you remember, Pokemon Violet allowed you to do makeshift parkour with your Vehiclemon. I don't remember its name. Holy crap.
Miraidon and Koraidon.
Okay, Miraidon. That's the one I used. Okay. Man, every day I forget more and more about that game. It's like, I want to forget.
Okay, I know you don't like it that much. I don't have a problem, but to make it it's not that bad. You forget the Pokemon. I can pretty much remember every single one.
Okay, that's just you being crazy. Like, for me, anything after Gen 4, I have to think about it for a second.
Wait, I'm the crazy one.
How in the fuck are you remembering 1,000 monsters? Off top
of your head. How do you not?
I don't play these games religiously, David. I don't play these games that much. I'm gonna point that out, okay? I play Pokemon like, a few times, and then I put it down, and then I'll play it. I don't care! Togepi better!
No, Toxel's the better one!
Yeah, but Togepi's Gen 2, and this one's Gen 8, so Gen 2 is better.
Okay, yes, I know this gonna go. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm not a much fan of Gen 2.
Okay, you're right. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal have aged like a motherfucker. But Heart Gold, Soul Silver are still fire. You can't deny that.
Oh yeah, I won't deny that, but I prefer other regions over Johto.
You prefer Galar over Johto?
Yes.
Really? You prefer Final Corridor 13 level design over beautiful, stunning pixel art gameplay?
I'm gonna say this. Before Galar Pokemon with Johto's Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. Aside from Feraligatr, I can't recall a thing. Actually, no. There are quite a few in Gen 2 that I like.
Sneasel's goated. What the fuck?
Yeah, but Sneasel and Weavile are awesome. Donphan is pretty cool, and how can we ignore Scizor? Scizor is awesome.
And Ho-Oh and Lugia.
But, oh yeah, those sort of are cool into the sort of roaming legends.
Yeah,
and I like Umbreon.
Yeah, I love Espeon too. Espeon's so cool.
And like I said, Feraligatr is my favorite starter of them.
And Skarmory finally giving us an answer to Alakazam cannot go unnoticed.
Skarmory is cool, but I've never been able to use it well.
Well, because the problem is Skarmory is designed to be a tank, but in the main story, you really just want one setup and 5 sweepers. Whereas if you play competitive, tanks are actually quite useful to wall off the opponent.
Yeah, by the way, I'm just not quite big on Gen 2 Mons. Not saying they're all bad, no. Just compared to other generations, I just feel like it's lacking.
Well, because the thing is that, if you remember, the Gen 2 was supposed to just be a direct sequel. And so, part of why Gen 2 works is because you have access to the Kantomon. Okay, don't get me wrong. Some people, like, with the benefit of hindsight, knowing that Pocket Monsters 2 wasn't the end of the series, and instead we got Gold and Silver, which, by the way, remember, the original name was just Pocket Monsters 2 before they changed that.
But I remember that.
Yeah, so it's no longer the end of the series. So with hindsight saying, oh, we got a bunch of regions that have entirely new monsters, and yeah, obviously it feels a bit underwhelming going back to Johto. But when you have the context, knowing that it was supposed to be the end, just a straight up sequel to Red and Blue, Yellow, Green, then having a lot of Kantomon with you makes a lot more sense. I know that in the modern era, people have sort of turned away from Gen 4. Not Gen 4, from Gen 2 and the Gen 4 versions of Gen 2 because of the level cap, but at the same time, part of why that happened is because Black and White 2 is so awesome.
Right, they were.
Yeah, they are, okay. I'll admit that on a technical level, when it comes to Pokemon games, I honestly say that I think more people would prefer Black and White 2, but it's just personally, I just like the aesthetic more of Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I just think it looks nicer, so I kind of prefer playing it. And because the thing is that the combat system is really similar, the only difference is you have more mons in Black and White 2. And to be honest, I do like a lot of the Gen 5 mons. But, and the animated sprites are cool, but just like I said, I would recommend people play Black and White 1 and 2 before recommending Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But personally, I prefer Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Anyways, this is gonna be the last time, I think, that you see this bear. Because after this episode, this bear goes away.
I forgot, which tower is this?
This is the water tower, I believe.
Alright.
Yeah, water is adaptable. Perfect. I mean, what are your thoughts on this side quest, David? The Urishifu side quest.
Honestly, I honestly don't mind it. I feel like it's pretty neat how you work alongside legendaries to improve to get stronger. Like it kind of feels like this was the blueprint for how Crydon and Miraidon will work. Because you're actually being with legendary the whole time.
I mean, I guess, but it's not like you can play with a weaker version of Koraidon and Miraidon during your run. You pretty much only get it at the end of the game. Yeah, I guess. I'm gonna be completely honest here. Have you ever seen the underleveled versions of these fights?
No.
Yeah, the underleveled versions of these fights are an absolute joke. They're so easy compared to the...
Oh look, it's Pika-Blue.
Yep, Pika-Blue. We're gonna catch Pika-Blue. We gotta find a bottle in the Seafoam Islands, and then take it to the old man, and then fly to Pallet Town, and run around in the grass underneath where you need to use Surf, and then go to the right. And then you'll find Pika-Blue, who was one of the OG Pokegods, if you remember that.
I remember there was a rumor about the whole thing.
Yeah.
When it was leaked.
Yeah. Man, it's just there's this charm about in playing video games in the era before mass adoption of the internet existed. Because the internet already existed, but the adoption of it had not on a wide scale. Because people weren't using broadband yet. They were using... What was it called? The internet where it's by a cable. I don't remember at the moment. But I know what
Internet?
it is. No, that's modern. That's dial-up. There we go. Dial-up internet. Yeah. Dial-up internet was very, very slow. Now, it's actually still provided by some people. For some reason, some people still use it. I'm guessing it's people who want to play Phantasy Star Online 2 on the Dreamcast. Because, yes, the servers for that are still up, David. I can't believe it.
I believe him.
It's like, wait. It's like, okay, Sega, I get it that it's your current console, technically, but you haven't made anything for it in years. Anyways. These dojo fights really go to show that this game lacked scaling, proper scaling. There's an attempt at scaling here, but I don't think that it was done particularly well, you know?
Yeah. Man, is it really that hard to get scaling?
Well, the problem is they don't want to alienate the casuals. Remember, the majority of Pokemon's player base are scalpers and casuals, which fucking pisses me off to some extent. Because the problem is, like, the hardcores are such a small fringe minority, but the hardcores are also the ones on the internet talking about it. So, you know, it sounds like they're a huge chunk, but in reality, people who actually like want harder Pokemon games, they want like a deeper story, stuff like that. That is just like a fringe minority on YouTube.com. The majority of people are perfectly happy to settle with 8 badges a region. Let's get in, let's get out, and go.
I mean, I'm not fine with that too, but like, I also like the other gen. I really thought Skyrim was gonna be a team gen, man. Like I'm still learning, but I feel like from what I've seen with my online video game making, it shouldn't be that hard to like program it to like the level adjust to like, let's say, if high if trainer has one gym, set one badge, set levels to, I don't know, 20 something.
Okay,
so
effectively you want to do what they did with the Crystal Clear ROM hack, where they effectively took Pokemon Crystal and just turned it into an open world game, as in they got rid of all of the NPCs that block progression. They scaled the levels and allowed you to pretty much go everywhere. They even gave you the choice to start with either Kanto or Johto, which, you know, was a really cool thing. And yeah,
the console what I thought Gen 9 should have been. It was had to be huge open world.
But here's the thing: the people who care about that are like the freaking diehard nerds like me and you. The casual audience wants a straightforward guide, and so if you do scaling, then the Nurse Joy tips. Well, I don't even think she's Nurse Joy in that game. Just the nurse tips at the Pokemart. They tell you where to go next. Wouldn't be as helpful, because there are a lot of people nowadays who, if you put them in front of a video game and the video game doesn't tell them where to go next or what to do, they just won't play it. That is the casual market. That is the people that like Sony games are primarily the market for.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. There's a reason that Sony pretty much makes the same exact game every year with different, you know, IPs. Okay, love it or hate it. Like, okay, we'll give credit to Spider-Man. They had different combat mechanics, but the way it's structured is structured similar to how God of War was structured similar to how Uncharted is structured. Same with Horizon. They're basically movie simulators with some gameplay in between. And this is the part where you start telling me, "No, Miguel, you're wrong." But am I?
No. Well, I'm talking about. What are you saying, or talking about here?
I'm talking about here, like right now.
Like,
am I wrong?
You aren't gonna do a thing. Aren't you gonna do a thing you're gonna do? What? You aren't gonna do a thing you're gonna do, are you?
Do what?
Okay, good. You're not.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna forget about learning Touching Strike.
Oh my gosh!
If you did that, I would have gone off like never before.
There's a move relearner. It doesn't matter. Besides, I don't even use this guy.
You know?
Yeah. I use him for the one fight where he's required, and then I ditch the prick. Pretty much. I don't think I use him in any other fight. I think that's true. Anyways, we've made it up this tower. And then the next thing we're gonna do is go back to the main story.
Hey, Raihan.
Yeah. Don't you just love the magic of editing? Don't you just love that you don't have to see me finagle around with a bunch of menus over and over again?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Neptunia 1. As much as I love that game, there's too much menuing, man. And then when you pile up, you're doing 3 versions? Aw, man, it gets so long, you know? You know, here's a interesting observation I made about this game. Since the gym challenge is more of a tournament, rather than an individualized journey that trainers go through, you winning pretty much robs the other members of their dreams. Think about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's not
I
like
thought about before.
it's not like red and green where
It's literally like the how I feel about in the World Series for the World Series. While I'm glad my team won the Dodgers, I also feel bad for the other teams who worked so hard.
Yeah, this is actually something I noticed. There was a guy, I forgot who it was a while back, who was pretty much thinking about the idea of competitive games. And they pretty much said, like, once people have to accept that there can only be a small fringe contest of winners, and then everyone else is a loser, it stops being fun for a lot of people. So, this is actually a really bold take from the Pokemon Company, to have us play as, effectively, the Dream Crusher, okay? We are freaking Ivan Draco, and then everyone else is our victims in the boxing ring. Because we, the player, especially if you've been playing Pokemon for a long time, outclass these jokers by such an extent. They stand no chance. Don't you agree?
Yeah. De la Cobra.
The first time it really dawned on me was in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, where the character whose sex you didn't pick, so in my case I played as Brendan, so May, tells you the player, canonizes effectively how easy the game is. Because that character pretty much says to you, it is, the difference in power between the two of you is insurmountable. Okay? And then they technically fix it with the Ultra games, although the problem with the Ultra games is that it was some of the most boring shit I ever played. But the difficulty, they did that right. I'll give them that. The battles were good. It's just everything else. And then they reverted in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee by making, I think, it's either that game or the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire that are the easiest games in the franchise. Like, X and Y, for all of my qualms, at least was harder than Oras. Not by much, but it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then we go to Sword and Shield, and remember, you're like me here, and you've played every generation before this. Okay, I've gone back, I played Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, and 7.
Oh, I played them by the remake. I never played the original Gen 1 through 3.
Like, I played the originals and the remakes.
Yeah, but I haven't. I've only played Fire Red, Heart Gold, and Aura.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, the only ones I really think you should experience are Gen 1 and Gen 3. But really, only experience Emerald. Because Ruby and Sapphire, I think, are weaker games than Oras, but Emerald is just a better game.
Yeah, I heard, like, Emerald basically Platinum.
Emerald has the Platinum effect, yes. And then, I genuinely cannot recommend people go back to play Crystal or Gold and Silver. I genuinely think that Hard Gold and Silver are just far better games.
And what about Yellow?
Yellow is a unique one for me. Because Yellow, I think, provides a more engaging quest than Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But Fire Red and Leaf Green, I don't think are as fun as Red and Blue. And part of that has to do with the way that the encounters were balanced in Red, Blue, Yellow, Green. Whereas, because they add the new mechanics, it does break the early balance, and you notice it, considering that they take away certain trainers' like super powerful Pokemon, or that they inherently buff you. For example, they give Charmander Metal Claw so that you can stomp Brock. Or there's a Rocket Grunt with Eradicate after the first gym, and that Eradicate isn't there, which gets rid of the sense of progression because later on in the game, you're going to find a different trainer with Eradicate of the exact same moves and stats, and it's going to feel easy to show you how much stronger you got after beating Misty as well, just to demonstrate the difference. Because there's a lot that Gen 3 version of Gen 1 does, like Leaf Green Fire Red adds the Sevi Islands, and that's really good. But they remove a lot of what makes Gen 1's replayability better. Don't get me wrong, the majority take is that Leaf Green Fire Red are still the definitive Gen 1 playthroughs, but I think, honestly, that maybe it's just the inner cynic in me I just prefer Gen 1 a lot more than the remake. Albeit, if you play either, you pretty much played most of it. The only thing you don't have is the feeling of being brutally underprepared. Because Gen 1's experience curve is crazy. You show up to the Pokemon League with your level 42 team, and the first thing they throw at you is a level 53 monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to do some rebalancing for Gen 1 when they make the remix. Which I think does cheapen the difficulty, but not necessarily in a good or bad way.
What?
Excuse me?
My deposit.
Okay,
My dad
pause.
calling me.
Continuing.
So, again,
We just fought the Team Yell people, and honestly, this fight is not very good. No, I get it.
Yeah, they're...
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's just meh.
The problem with this game is that the best parts of it all happen at the end. So during the early part, it doesn't really hit the same.
True. Losing to be one thing, full pride, but still the three when we stand beside and fight in the game, we going to stay up. But you lost to them, it's such a shame. I proved the B was right to think so low. If you buy that mine, you throw a show. When they attack, I thought you got it all. I can't believe you're Leon's kin by birth. What would happen to the music there? And what would the ball bring, Mark? It does not help. Just press. Really, we done. Get together or life won't be. Oh my god.
What in the fuck are you saying?
Wait, I'm saying what you were reading. What you type.
What's wrong with it?
I couldn't finish it because, I don't know, you go too fast.
That one, I'll admit, was too fast. But in my defense,
Yeah.
there was not enough time in that scene. I slowed that scene down to 13% speed, and it was still too fast.
And here is honestly a character I'm mixed on about how I feel. Okay, I'll talk about it when we see her again.
Anyways, go see the person you're going to see. Have a nice day.